Monday Night Raw tonight. This was one of the worst go-home shows that I think I've ever seen. Absolutely terrible. WWE's heading to the ThunderDome! To do what? Give me shows like they did tonight? Oh man, all the virtual fans in the universe won't be able to save Kevin Dunn and Bruce and Vince McMahon. Shawn Michaels returned tonight. He didn't sell the punt kick, but he returned tonight. Another aging legend that WWE rolled out of the coffin to show up on Monday night. Montez Ford was poisoned tonight, folks. Well, not tonight, but you guys get the point. He was poisoned. You wouldn't know it if you watch Raw tonight. Asuka, Shayna, Bayley and Sasha. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I really don't. But I'll tell you what is going on, man. You're right here live for the Monday Night Raw review. Because nobody does it better in the IWC. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Let's hit this shit. This is Off the Script for your Monday Night Raw review, August 17, 2020.
Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, hipster hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script, live on YouTube. It is August 17, 2020, and we are 1 week away from the lamest party of the summer. You'll never see it coming. You know what? They really are living up to that little motto for SummerSlam. You'll never see it coming, folks. You'll never see a good Monday Night Raw as long as Bruce and Vince McMahon are in charge. So it fits perfectly with SummerSlam this year. We are 1 week away from SummerSlam, folks. I don't even know what to say to you that I have not already stated on Off the Script. Where is SummerSlam? Why is SummerSlam feeling like a D-level pay-per-view? I don't really understand that everything else in the WWE right now is so much more important than everything going on at SummerSlam. Whether it's the Amway Center, whether it's WWE entering the ThunderDome. They're entering the ThunderDome at the Amway Center on Friday for SmackDown. I hope that Vince McMahon gets struck by fucking lightning in the ThunderDome. That's what I'm hoping for on fucking Friday SmackDown. Retribution, everything else surrounding SummerSlam is more important than SummerSlam. I really don't understand it. Now, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I already got a 35-minute off the script extra already ready to go. We're going to talk about it. We're going to rant on it. Going to make you guys laugh. I'm going to entertain you like I can on off the script. It's not really too much of a news-heavy show, but we do talk about the WWE ThunderDome and Sonya Deville with her stalker and all that situation, and that creep, that cretin, that clown who stalked her for 8 months. So we talk about that as well. But I want to go over it briefly if you guys, and there are a lot of you, I'm sure there are, who don't pay attention to anything WWE. I want to talk briefly on the ThunderDome because they mentioned it quite a few times tonight. WWE is set to launch the ThunderDome on Friday, SmackDown, with video boards, pyrotechnics, lasers, cutting-edge graphics, and drones. So they hired a bunch of Vanguard ones to do their dirty work inside the Amway Center. Now, Kevin Dunn was interviewed by Sports Illustrated. I don't know how they got his fucking teeth through the front door, or how they even invited him in the fucking building with those 2 fucking front teeth. But here we are. Kevin Dunn was interviewed by Sports Illustrated. And he says this in regards to the ThunderDome. And I quote, "We're grateful." Kevin Dunn grateful, folks. Kevin Dunn is grateful for what? His money? His fucking toothpaste? His toothbrush? His fucking firewood that I'm sure he's got stored up for the winter season already. You know how squirrels burrow and they fucking collect acorns throughout the summer to feed themselves all through the winter months. That's what Kevin Dunn does with the firewood. I'm sure he does. We're grateful and so appreciative of the fans that are hanging with us. You don't have many hanging with you anymore, you fucking buck-toothed beaver. It's been tough. Oh, it's been tough. Let me tell you something, Dunn. It's fucking tough watching 3 hours of this fucking horrendous garbage every Monday. It's fucking tough. Yeah, I'm sure it's tough with your fucking millions upon millions of stock options. Clown. Shows haven't been what we'd like them to be. Oh, really? Really now? Man, I've been saying that for what, 7 fucking years? And we'd be dishonest saying anything else. We miss our fans. Kevin Dunn misses the fans. I miss good television. Our fans make our shows. Without them, it's been really challenging. I can't wait to see the ThunderDome full of 1,000 WWE fans giving us the energy we need to make this as entertaining as possible. I think people watching and participating are really going to enjoy this, and it's going to make people say, "Wow! WWE, it's back!" End quote. Then he goes on to say that the structure will enable us, WWE, to deliver an immersive atmosphere and generate more excitement amongst the millions of fans watching our programming around the world. Folks, there are people legitimately in the community. There are people legitimately in this community of ours, this fucking cesspool of toxic fucking garbage that is the IWC, that are excited about all of this. Now, I'm not saying I'm not excited. It would be unfair of me and my journalistic duties to immediately write it off and complain about it before we even see it. WWE is planning a full-on WrestleMania-like experience, and you know when they go and say that, they're going to put all their resources into making it really successful. Now, granted, WWE is kind of late to the fucking party. Soccer has been doing this since July. The NBA has been doing this since the restart of their season. MLB has kind of done it with the virtual fans. There are a lot of other sports in the world today that have already adopted this technology, but WWE seems to think that they are only living inside the ThunderDome, and everything else that exists out of it merely doesn't matter. It doesn't count. There are people in the community that are genuinely excited. I'm not saying you can't be excited. I'm not saying that I'm not interested. Obviously, I'm going to watch. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and what I think of it and if it will work and so on and so forth. But WWE is laying blame. I didn't see anything in this write-up about the ThunderDome. I didn't see anything there about making the shows better. All they're doing is resting their hopes and their laurels on this ThunderDome to bring the shows back to the quality that they think is enough. Now, I don't understand why nobody is complaining about this statement by Kevin Dunn. Television and production, the shows aren't where they need them, or we need them to be, or the shows aren't where they are supposed to be. In what way? Television production? Okay, fine. You're working out of a fucking gym in the Performance Center. Fine. But that doesn't mean you can't write good fucking television. That means you can't write compelling television for us because you're working out of a fucking gym? I never heard of such stupidity. Now they're placing the blame on the Performance Center. You're blaming an inanimate object for the fucking reason why your shows suck. Yeah, it's not the fucking creative. It's not the fucking people writing this on this fucking garbage. It's not the show, right? It's not Bruce. It's not Vince. It's not the fucking 70 writers you got employed there that complain every fucking week to Ringside News. Oh, it's chaos. Oh, Monday Night Raw's a leadership issue. It feels like a leaderless fucking position here on Monday Night Raw. Nobody's leading the charge. That's all I read. All I read every single week. Scripts are ripped up. Fucking creative writers are coming to work to write shows. Nothing is approved. Vince McMahon walks out. He approves 2 segments out of 28. No, but it's the fucking building's fault for all of that happening, right? I don't understand these fucking people. It's not the building. It's not the building. You guys can hold the show in this fucking very office right now. I wouldn't give a shit. You could write compelling television. Stop making excuses. And stop enabling their excuses. It's fucking sickening to somebody like me that knows the shows need to be better, can be better with the proper leadership and writing, and nobody says a fucking word. Oh, let me hop on the WWE dick hype. Let me hop on that fucking hype train because it's cool and I love rubbing elbows with WWE management. To abide by WWE law, I gotta put out positivity because I won't get my interview with Drew McIntyre. You fucking serious? So the ThunderDome is coming on Friday. Should be very interesting. And Monday Night Raw, the last show before we actually go to the Amway Center, man, oh man, it's like WWE didn't even try. It's like they did not even care about what happened on this show. Folks, if you watch tonight's show, you would not even believe there's a pay-per-view called Summerslam on Sunday night. That's how bad this show was. This show was filled with more logic holes than a fucking slice of Swiss cheese. I can't even fucking begin to tell you how many fucking logic gaps were in this show. Nobody says anything. That's why I'm here. I'm here to save the day. How many of you guys actually watch this fucking show? Probably not many. That's why you're here. We're going to go over the entire show tonight. We're going to go over what didn't work, what did work, what Retribution did or didn't do tonight. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels, all that shit. Raw Underground again. This was probably the worst of the Raw Underground segments. I don't know who is getting over in this concept. And then we got Apollo Crews and MVP continuing their feud, while everybody else is just a mere casualty in this mediocre United States Championship program. 50-50 booking is absolutely killing everybody around them, including Apollo Crews. So we'll go over that today on Off the Script here for the Monday Night Raw review, 8/17/2020. Let me check on the chat here. We got 1,100 people watching. Last week it was a lot more. I'm guessing you guys don't give a shit about it either. Either that or you were watching the Democratic Convention, which I did not even give a shit about. Or maybe you're watching the NBA playoffs. Either one. I was kind of flipping back and forth between Monday Night Raw and watching my Braves come from behind with a nice Dansby Swanson dinger in the bottom of the ninth with 2 out. Won the game, beat the Nationals. Braves are not doing well at all right now. First place spots, man, oh man. Injuries galore. They're looking like Monday Night Raw themselves. But we got 1,100 going up to 1,200 in the chat right now. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it live. We will go over the super chats at the end of the show, and we'll have just a nice chill super chat session. So keep them coming in if you guys want to get your questions in. Lines are always open. Shout out to Jesse if he's in the chat, and shout out to my other mods in the chat if you're there. I'm sure you are. So be good, behave, and let's get this shit on the road, man. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. I will have new content up tomorrow. Like I said, Off the Script extra, my thoughts, my complete thoughts on the ThunderDome and what Kevin Dunn said. Also, the Sonya Deville stalker situation. Really sad stuff there, but the guy that was stalking her and actually broke into her home was arrested. So we will go over that as well. And Rusev was on the Ryback podcast and explained how Vince McMahon tried to convince Rusev that the people chanting Rusev Day were indeed mocking him and not cheering for him. And Vince McMahon, he detailed, tried to kill Rusev Day every chance he got. It is so ridiculous, man. It is an eye-opening story you do not want to miss me rant on. Absolutely ridiculous. Follow me on Twitter, man, at JDfromNY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button like I said. If you missed any of the videos that I've uploaded this weekend, including Off the Script episode 339, that is linked down below in the description of this video. Get your masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS. We got the new black mask in stock. Make sure you guys go and do that. Go and get your t-shirts as well. The new JD's NEGAN t-shirt is on fire. Make sure you guys go pick that up. Link is down in the description as well. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of the new JD is NEGAN t-shirt. Make sure you guys hit up the Patreon page as well. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. And today's podcast is brought to you by my good friends over at Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. You guys can get a free sample of Blue Chew if you guys go and sign up to the website. Use code JD at checkout. And let me tell you something, man. You guys sign up for Blue Chew, you and not Seth Rollins will be doing the greater good. So make sure you guys sign up for them. And they are sponsoring the show tonight, BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout for your free, yes, I said free sample of BlueChew.com. All right, man, Monday Night Raw opened up. The WWE brand logo with the then, now, and forever showed up like it usually does in the beginning of the show. Started to glitch out. And this was obviously the work of Retribution, the 205 Live Cruiserweight Retribution, the 205 Live Rejects. Then Raw had their opening theme play. And then they went to the announcers at ringside. They caught viewers up on the Asuka Battle Royal win on Friday Night SmackDown, which I ranted on Friday. Go and check that out. And she earned the title shot against Bayley at SummerSlam, or SummerScam. Then they announced Asuka would team with Shayna Baszler tonight against Sasha Banks and Bayley, which I didn't really understand because WWE is just throwing shit at the wall right now, and it seems like they are running out of gas to continue this Sasha and Bayley storyline. Also, Shawn Michaels, they hyped up, would be there to respond to what Randy Orton did to Ric Flair last Monday on Monday Night Raw. And that was all before Drew McIntyre made his entrance. They added nice little sword sounds, unnecessary sword sounds, to Drew McIntyre's theme music. I don't know why. It's like they get bored. It's amazing to me the things that they focus on in the company. They're adding sword sounds, swords clashing in Drew McIntyre's theme music. That's what they're worried about, though. Everything else is A-okay to the management team on Monday night, but they got to add fucking sword sounds, clashing of swords in Drew McIntyre's theme music. So we've seen a video package of the Orton and Flair situation last week. Folks, they showed this video package 4 different times on a 3-hour broadcast for Monday Night Raw. 4 different times, in full, on all 4 occasions. So Drew came out, he was very serious, because Ric Flair, somebody that obviously everybody was concerned about after last week, he was serious as he reacted to the video package. He said for 20 years, Flair was his mentor and protector, and most importantly, his friend. And last week, with a tear in his eye, he told you he wanted you to break his legendary record and that he loved you. You are pure evil, man. He said at SummerSlam he's not facing a defenseless old man. He's facing a pissed off 6'5" Scottish fire-breathing dragon. Now, the only fire-breathing dragon that I know is from The Hobbit, and his name is Smaug. If you are more beastly than Smaug, Mr. McIntyre, then by all means, continue explaining how you are a fire-breathing dragon at SummerSlam. Until then, I wouldn't put the dragon title in such a disrespectful way. So he says, I'm going to severely hurt you. He says he's going to do it for everyone he's ever wronged in his life, including Flair. So then all of a sudden, the screen started flashing other graphics, very rapid fire, back to back. They were showing the intro, and they were showing different camera angles of the commentary team. The Monday Night Raw logo was upside down. I believe they started to show a clip of the Rollins beatdown of Dominic last week. It was all fucked up. They weren't even showing anything pertinent to what Drew McIntyre was talking about here. It was graphics all over the place. They were just coming at you on the screen. Shit upside down, commentary team, Rollins and Mysterio last week. So nobody knew what was going on. So all of a sudden, the camera crew of WWE caught up with Retribution, who was actually in the TV production truck. Now, we did not see any beaver sighting. I'm sure Kevin Dunn got out of there immediately. For all we know, Kevin Dunn might be the leader of Retribution. I don't know. He wasn't there. But there are a bunch of four-eyed fucking geeks sitting there that were bullied. Retribution was there. They were pushing these guys around. They were throwing shit off the desks. One of them took a laptop and broke it over his knee, threw it against the fucking wall of the production truck. And then they were choking some guy out in the corner. They were threatening guys. One of them pushed the button, and then the show went to black, and then we went to commercial break. And when I tell you, that was legitimately the only time we seen Retribution for the entire 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, that was it. That was it. Nothing else regarding Retribution the entire night. And I don't know why we needed to see this, or what the point or purpose of this was. What was the point of that segment? If that was what they wanted to do, don't you think that they would take over the entire show? If Retribution was really out for Retribution, there would not be a Monday Night Raw airing for 3 hours on the USA Network. But all they did was go into the production truck, break a laptop, shove some fucking geek with glasses, and then leave. What did they exactly do on the show tonight? Oh, that's right. Maybe this guy, maybe this was their weed dealer. And they were bullying him for the wrong package, the wrong fucking pack that they gave him the night before. So he was looking at these Retribution clowns. All right, I got the stuff. It's right here. And then they went to Raw Underground. They smoked up with Shane. That's what all the smoke coming out from underneath the door is. And that was it. That was it. Retribution was gone for the entire night. There was no other mention of Retribution the entire night on this show. We did not see another masked man on this show for the entire night. Absolutely a waste of time. But I'm supposed to be scared. They took over the show and did what exactly? They went in there, pushed some geeks around, and then went home. But WWE is trying to build this group up as causing chaos. Whatever they did tonight was the opposite of causing chaos. So they cut backstage to Titus O'Neil talking about the Retribution members. And he was talking to the Raw roster. Drew McIntyre walked up to them. Titus asked if he's heard how Ric Flair is doing. Why would Titus care about Ric Flair? Maybe Ric Flair frequented Titus Catering. Maybe he enjoyed the cornbread, from what I heard. Oh, Ric Flair wasn't there this week. What happened? What happened? He didn't show up. I had his fucking placemat and silverware all set up. Where was he? Where was he? Maybe Titus didn't watch the show last week, but I'll tell you what, neither did anybody else watching WWE. Drew said he's heard that he's going to be okay. He said Randy Orton won't be okay at SummerSlam. I'm never okay watching Monday Night Raw, but thank you for asking, Mr. McIntyre. He doesn't appreciate when someone comes into his backyard and craps all over the place. Sounds very familiar, because I thought I heard this on SmackDown when Big E said, I don't appreciate people coming into our home and putting their feet up on the couch. So WWE is legitimately recycling fucking lines and storylines that transition from one show to the next because they don't know what the fuck they want to do. They are so lazy that they are just recycling shit and verbiage from what we've seen from SmackDown. We seen this same segment with the SmackDown roster on Friday. Yet I'm supposed to sit here and be, oh my God, Raw, Retribution, ah. Unreal. The laziness just shows, yet it gets swept under the rug. Oh, JD is negative. He's a negative Karen. Sure I am. So he said that they can band together and stomp out this group. The Messiah walked in, and Murphy. Seth mocked, applauded Drew McIntyre, and he's very condescending in attitude. Says he likes how he's firing everyone up on the Raw roster. So the locker room already has a leader, him. Drew said if the locker room doesn't respect him now, they will never respect him. I don't think anybody respects Rollins. The more he speaks in an interview with whomever he sits down with, I don't think anybody respects Seth Rollins. Seth said he was the first one to teach him how to be a leader. Said he taught Dominic Mysterio what it takes to be a WWE superstar last week. Ricochet then snickering like a fucking third grader in the back got Seth Rollins' attention and said, a little birdie said Rey Mysterio will be there later. A little birdie told me Ricochet is now 12 feet buried instead of 6 feet on Monday Night Raw. Was he correct? After tonight he was. Cedric Alexander then started snickering like a fourth grader. Said the same thing. Oh, the same little birdie told me the same thing. Ha ha ha. They got these guys acting like class clowns instead of class athletes on Monday night. Go figure. So Seth said after he destroyed Rey Mysterio's eye, he will definitely not be showing up. So Drew asked if he's scared. Seth said he's not scared. And last week, Drew couldn't even protect Flair from Orton. He told him to get his priorities straight or he's going to leave SummerSlam as a former WWE champion. Drew then threatened to drop Seth Rollins right then and there. Murphy started to shove him. Titus and Ali stepped in between them. This was the most work that Ali would put in tonight. Ricochet says he's not worth it. Seth Rollins and Murphy left laughing at their troubles here on Monday night. So, like I said, it was nothing more than the same segment, riling everybody up in a battle cry against Retribution and they did not even show up for the remainder of the evening. So this did not make any sense, and this was lazy because WWE just took this same segment from Friday and removed the SmackDown guys, put the Raw guys in there, removed Big E and put Drew McIntyre in there. Virtually the same message, with Seth Rollins coming in being a condescending prick and kind of egging Drew McIntyre on, etc., etc. That's all it was. MVP was next. The new 3-year contract is coming into handy. Signed the new 3-year deal with WWE. I'm assuming 3 years. Might be longer, 5 years, who knows. New contract extension for MVP. Good for him. Probably the best thing on their show. So when MVP came out, it's as if they wanted you to believe Retribution was still doing what they were doing. No cameramen were around ringside. The show was kind of in hostage mode. All they did was shoot the hard cam up the stage without moving it. So you know Kevin Dunn wasn't in the truck, quote unquote, because there wasn't 1,000 fucking camera cuts here. It was just one solid shot of MVP in the Hurt Business coming down the aisle. So it was MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley. They entered the ring. MVP said the Hurt Business is ready for business. He mocked people being flustered by Retribution. He said they're not tough by terrorizing people in the shadows. He said tough is the three of them. He said he's learned his life lesson to follow the money. He asked who benefits the most from the actions of Retribution. He said, follow the trail to catering where you'll find Apollo Crews and his band of merry pranksters. Cedric Alexander, Ricochet, and Ali. Oh my God, the truth is hidden in plain sight, folks. You don't think WWE is putting that kind of wording in MVP's promo and they don't mean it? They're putting that wording in the promo because that's exactly what they think of Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, and Mustafa Ali. And MVP has mentioned catering with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander for weeks now. It is truth in plain sight. That's exactly what WWE management thinks of all three of those guys. One camera guy at ringside started holding the camera very unsteadily. We seen a camera shot which looked to be on a crane at some point during this segment as well. So MVP accused Crews of doing the whole thing when he was recovering from the Lashley attack. So he's behind Retribution. Says Apollo Crews is behind Retribution. MVP said Retribution showed up about the same time he showed up for the challenge of the United States title. And in his match, the lights flickered, which was a ploy to help Crews steal his U.S. title that I paid $1,000 or thousands of dollars for. Not $1,000, that'd be pretty cheap, but thousands upon thousands of dollars to make. So Apollo Crews came out. The camera guy at ringside was doing that wobbly motion again. Crews said MVP can't beat him without help. MVP said until Apollo Crews won the United States title, his career had more starts and stops than a raggedy old used car. MVP says he sees fear in Apollo Crews' eyes and said Crews is worried that when he loses the United States title belt to him at SummerSlam, it will be back to catering for you, Mr. Crews. Yes, I know. That's exactly where he's going. And MVP is not really holding back at all because he knows just as well as anybody that when Apollo Crews loses that United States Championship, and that's going to be sooner rather than later, he will be right back in catering. That's exactly where he's going. So he says, back to catering for you. Crews says he is right. He fears that. That's why he fights so hard to remain U.S. title. Even Apollo Crews knows it. He said if he was anything like him, he would have accepted his offer to join the Hurt Business. MVP said this is a business. Crews says if he beats Shelton tonight, that means Shelton and Lashley have to watch his match at SummerSlam in catering. Believe me, Shelton knows exactly what catering's about, bro. He's been there for like the last 3 years. So he said, then he will show him he can't beat him without help. MVP said at SummerSlam he'll put him on his back. He sent Shelton and Lashley after Crews. Crews then leapt into the ring, ducked them, and we got Apollo Crews versus Shelton Benjamin with Bobby Lashley and MVP at ringside. Crews wins in 2 minutes. So 50-50 booking, rearing its ugly head again. Didn't Shelton Benjamin beat Apollo Crews in a non-title match? When was that? Last week? 2 weeks ago? Whenever. And now we got Apollo Crews beating Shelton Benjamin in 2 minutes. So we're trading wins back and forth here. How does this exactly get Shelton Benjamin and the Hurt Business over? How can anyone say that they are over and have momentum when they lose and they win? They win and they lose. It is so ridiculous, the 50-50 booking. This is why nobody stands out on these shows. This. Shelton Benjamin beat the United States champion in a match last time these two guys were in the ring. And then the very next time they're in the ring together, we got Apollo Crews beating him in 2 minutes. Not only will I call Shelton Benjamin getting over or the Hurt Business getting over. So the Hurt Business attacked Crews. Ricochet, Ali, and Cedric ran out to make the save. Lashley puts a full Nelson on Cedric, which he is now calling the full Lashley. Ali leapt onto Lashley's back with a sleeper hold. Ricochet super kicked Lashley, and then Crews kicked him, which finally led to Lashley losing his grip. The heels retreated up the ramp. The baby faces were at ringside. Truth, yes, R-Truth came in past them with the 24/7 title. Shelton Benjamin kicked R-Truth in the face as he rounded the ringside steel post, knocked him down on the floor, pinned him, and won the 24/7 title. So WWE continues to throw R-Truth into the Hurt Business's business, and it's not really making the Hurt Business look good at all, because you're muddying it up with this irrelevant, comedy-like joke called the 24/7 title. If someone is calling themselves the Hurt Business, why are you having ninjas and R-Truth in every fucking segment with them? Get it off the show. It has no purpose on the show. But the ThunderDome is coming. And you guys expect new and just reinvented television with WWE. You expect this fresh product all of a sudden. What you're seeing here is exactly what you're going to get in the ThunderDome on Friday. And every Monday and Friday to follow for the rest of the year. Angel Garza. He was chatting with Demi Burnett from The Bachelorette. I don't know what the fuck she's still doing there. Maybe she's a pro wrestling fan. I don't know. Ivar walked in and gave Demi Burnett a rose. He asked her to be his +1 to Raw Underground later. Did she show up? Of course she did. She was flattered by the offer and said, "Ha ha, sure." Garza didn't like what he was hearing because he's been flirting with her for weeks now. Married man flirting with a pretty blonde. That's what happens. He then presented her with a turkey leg, did Ivar, as a thank you for saying, "Yes, I will accompany you to Raw Underground." Ivar said Garza didn't poison that one. So Demi asked Garza if he really poisoned Montez Ford. Garza said no, he didn't. Said Ford is just trying to get out of defending the Raw Tag Team titles at SummerSlam. Garza told Ivar he will take him out next and then shove the turkey leg out of Debbie's hands. Ivar was very angry, so he did some fucking Star Wars or Star Trek fucking maneuver where he put his hand up and he was like fucking summoning fucking turkey legs. And a turkey leg just materialized in Ivar's hand. I mean, weren't the Viking Raiders fucking awesome and cool when they were under Triple H in NXT. How? How do you look at the Viking Raiders now and even compare them to where they were in NXT? They're like a fucking joke. It's like a comedy act. There's nothing Viking about them at all. I mean, he's fucking doing like some Star Wars shit with fucking turkey legs. Yeah, you got some fucking cretin in the community. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. Yeah, you know what's funny? The fact that these guys are fucking dead on Monday night in a dead division. So he handed the turkey leg back to Demi Burnett and told Garza he should put respect on his name. Clearly, Monday Night Raw has not put respect on the Viking Raiders. So we got Angel Garza versus Ivar. Let me take a sip of my cold water here before I rant on this, please. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Folks, this Monday Night Raw show has 3 fucking tag teams. 3 tag teams. We got the Viking Raiders. We got the Street Profits. And then we got Garza and Andrade, which is not really a tag team. WWE only paired them together because A, they're both Mexican. B, they both work for Zelina Vega. C, they have nobody else. They got the Hurt Business. You could do Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. You could do Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Those are 2 teams right there that WWE isn't really utilizing on this show. But you got 3 tag teams right now, legitimately. The Profits, the Viking Raiders, and Garza and Andrade that have been a staple on Monday Night Raw for a little bit of time now. I don't remember, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I don't remember the last tag team, legitimate tag team, and I mean legitimate tag team versus legitimate tag team match on Monday Night Raw. I don't remember when that was. Yet, WWE's tag team division is so dead, all they are doing is giving us tag team wrestlers in singles matches. You got fucking Eric of the Viking Raiders fucking around in Raw Underground, leaving Ivar without a partner. And then you got the Profits. They're wrestling singles matches right now. Angelo Dawkins was wrestling singles matches because Montez Ford was poisoned. Then you got Montez Ford wrestling a singles match on this show. Garza is wrestling singles matches. Andrade is wrestling singles matches, which is a little bit more normal because they are singles wrestlers. But the point I'm trying to make is the tag team division is so fucking dead that they're not even doing tag team wrestling. They're doing tag teams wrestling in singles matches on this show. But I'm supposed to be excited about the Raw Tag Team Championship match at Summerslam because Montez Ford was poisoned, which I will harp on in just a second. So Garza wins in under 4 minutes. I guess the turkey leg didn't do him much good here. So early in the match, they showed Demi Burnett cheering while watching on a monitor backstage. Angelo Dawkins walked in, started flirting with her. She smiled and turned away from the screen to chat with Angelo Dawkins. Ivar tossed Garza around ringside. Andrade created just enough of a distraction to open up Ivar for a blindside attack on Garza. He kicked him and then drop kicked him to the side of his head while he was kneeling. Got a sudden 3 count. Garza wins in under 4 minutes. Afterwards, Dawkins and Demi Burnett appeared on the big screen again. Dawkins congratulated Romeo for the win. Garza looked very annoyed. Demi said that they were just talking about watching their tag team title match on Sunday. Dawkins brought up Charlie Caruso. This angered Garza even more, and Garza told him to mind his own business because Angelo Dawkins is being a cock block here. Dawkins said they're about to find out a lot about him. Dog. Garza ran to the back. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on here. But Angelo Dawkins clearly knew something that everybody else at ringside did not. he knew who poisoned Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins was smiling and ha ha ha. You guys are going to get the smoke and I'm fucking stealing your blonde. I'm going to take her out for a fucking crazy night in just a little bit. He's there smiling with the Bachelorette and Charlie Caruso. Hey, man, ha ha ha. Meanwhile, this guy knows exactly who poisoned his best friend, his tag team partner, and he's smiling and laughing over the fact that he knows. Now, I don't know. If someone very important to you was poisoned and you found out who did it, wouldn't be the first thing that comes to your mind is, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. I'm going to get my hands on this bitch and I'm going to fucking strangle the lethal Lothario out of him. The guy's just standing there smiling. Ah ha ha, I know something you don't. Okay, you know it. Why don't you go and inflict pain on the culprits here? You're standing there smiling over the fact that your best friend got poisoned and you figured out who the fuck poisoned your best friend. Doesn't really sound like somebody who's concerned enough that his fucking tag team partner was poisoned. So fucking stupid. So, Samoa Joe. I guess Samoa Joe was the little birdie all of a sudden. Maybe he's the fucking hacker. I don't know. Samoa Joe said he's heard a video that was going around that's going to reveal some very interesting things. He was very happy about this. He was smiling and giddy with Samoa Joe. Vega demanded to know what he knew. Joe said due to Retribution and them causing chaos at the PC, security has been going over a ton of video footage. He said security happened to show him some interesting footage, which he forwarded to Dawkins because he thought he would be interested in it. He said it shows how far people are willing to go when they think nobody is watching. Vega walked away with Andrade very concerned, with a very guilty look written all over her face. So backstage, Garza approached Demi and Dawkins. He told her to delete Vega. Vega did. Vega told her to delete Dawkins' number, or Garza rather, I'm sorry. Garza told Dawkins and Demi to stop. He told her to delete Dawkins' number. Caruso then entered and said, whoa, I was over there eavesdropping. And I heard all this commotion over here, so I'm going to invite myself over to find out what's going on over here. So Andrade and Dawkins began arguing. Dawkins yelled for someone to run the video. Vega was there. She's like, or don't. The footage showed Vega apparently poisoning Ford's drink after Raw. Now, we couldn't see what she was doing or what she was pouring in the drink. We don't know what she did here. All we seen was her back. And in front of her was Montez's crown and his red Solo cup. She was done doing her business and she walked away very innocently. So Andrade and Garza reacted as if they had no idea whatsoever. And Caruso asked if that's what it looks like. Vega said, whoa. It's not what it looks like. She said the video doesn't prove anything and that she's been messed with. She said Charlie Caruso is actually behind this because she's jealous of Garza, or she's jealous Garza has upgraded to Demi. She's jealous that Garza doesn't want her anymore. Dawkins then yelled at Vega and said Montez is family and it's taken every bit of restraint to not give them what they are owed. It took him every bit of restraint to not give them what they are owed. But he found out earlier in the day and then during Garza's match, he found out that Montez was poisoned by Vega and did nothing but stand there and smile. And then when Vega, Andrade, and Garza finally confronted him in the back, that's when he got angry. That's when he got upset that Montez Ford was poisoned. Before that, he was flirting with the fucking blonde. Ha ha ha. I'm going to show her my smoke. That was it. This did not make any sense whatsoever. It looked ridiculous. Because I know if somebody I know got poisoned, it would be lights out. I'd be taking a fucking baseball bat to their kneecaps. Yet this guy's just standing there smiling. And where's Bianca Belair? If Angelo Dawkins found out that Vega did indeed poison her husband, Bianca Belair broke into this woman's house on Twitch, which, by the way, we still did not get any video of on Monday Night Raw. Not even a fucking mention of it on Monday night. This woman broke into her fucking home to choke her out live on Twitch. Where was Bianca Belair when what's his name, Dawkins, had the fucking footage of Vega doing the poisoning? Where was she? I guess when they found out, she didn't care because she was right. I beat the bitch already. Let Angelo Dawkins take care of it. But don't you think Bianca Belair should be there in that moment when it's uncovered that Vega was the one behind the poisoning? Wouldn't you want to add an extra beatdown to Vega? That she poisoned your fucking husband? So many logic gaps. Nobody says anything. Mickie James versus Natalya. How many of you guys in the chat are Mickie James fans? If you were on this night, I'm sure you're fucking pissed. Mickie James got a jobber entrance, number one. This woman has been out for how long? And they bring her back to Monday Night Raw to not even have an entrance in the WWE on Monday Night Raw. She's in the ring with Natalya, who, I don't know who's a fan of Natalya, but I would rather watch fucking paint dry in multiple rooms on any given day. You could fucking paint an entire house. I would rather watch that fucking dry than watch Natalya in the ring wrestle on Monday Night Raw. Especially with Lana. Mickie James versus Natalya, folks. If you watch Raw, I guarantee you probably didn't even realize there was a women's match happening tonight in this segment. Because all they did was briefly show them in the ring, and then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins came out and started talking to Samoa Joe. So Rollins came out there with Murphy, walked up to Joe, demanded to know what he knows about Rey Mysterio, because apparently he's the little birdie. Does he know that Rey is showing up tonight? He demanded an answer. He demanded to know his sources. Joe asked why he seems so shook up. They were talking. Mickie was in the ring and Natalya was in the ring. Mickie climbed the top rope, but Lana distracted her, so Natalya knocked her off the top rope to the floor. Mickie James ended up getting counted out in her return match on Monday Night Raw. Natalya wins via countout in 3 minutes. So they used the return of Mickie James and Natalya in the ring tonight as a backdrop for Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe to continue the Rey Mysterio feud. So if WWE folks actually gave it, this is why nobody gets over. This is why the women's division is a fucking joke outside of Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka right now. And Shane is coming along. Bianca is back to catering. This is why nobody gets over. This is why the Monday Night Raw women's division sucks. They used this as a backdrop. All they needed to do was have Rollins come out and get in the ring and stop the match completely. I don't know why you got to give Mickie James a loss. I don't know why Natalya's got to be on the show. Rollins just could have gone into the ring with a microphone, stopped the match, yell at Samoa Joe. He's the Messiah of all fucking people. He could do whatever the fuck he wants, I'm sure, right? Why didn't you do that? Or why didn't you have Rollins come out before the match started and start blasting Samoa Joe about Rey Mysterio? Why did you have to disrespect the women with Rollins coming down, the bell ringing, them wrestling, which was a fucking moot point at this stage of the show, and all the camera did was focus on Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe? The match was happening, and you wouldn't even realize if you were watching the show. Fucking awful. And then Mickie James loses her return match after how many months? What was she away for, like 3 years? 2 years? with an injury. She loses via countout, and she gets no ring entrance. Man, oh man, Bruce and Nick Aldis were going back and forth. Bruce said something about Nick Aldis, that he doesn't have the charisma to make it, he's mediocre, or whatever the fuck he was saying about Nick Aldis on his podcast with Conrad. He doesn't have what it takes to be a big superstar, a big name, he's boring, or whatever the fuck he said about him. And then Nick Aldis blasted Bruce Pritchard on social media, even added him on social media. So what does Bruce do to get back? He says nothing. He says nothing as a follow-up. His follow-up was burying his wife on Monday Night Raw. There you go, folks. That's the internal workings of Monday Night Raw with Bruce Pritchard as executive director of Raw. Mickie James getting a big push on Monday night in the women's division? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't even know why the fuck you brought her back. Why did you even bring her back if this is what you were going to do? Because you all know the women's division needs another name. Mickie James can slide in there and be another name. She's got a lot left to give. So watch tonight. WWE clearly has zero fucking care about Mickie James. Hour 2. We're going to go into hour 2 in just a little bit. Got to shout out my sponsor here, man. BlueChew.com. Let me play some music over here, man. Blue Chew, sponsoring the show tonight. You guys know Blue Chew. They are with me almost every single month. And Blue Chew is the number one fucking go-to when you guys need to increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. You guys get to be the Seth Rollins of the bedroom. You guys get to be a part of the greater good in the bedroom. You guys remember the days when you were always ready to go? In my old age, man, I'm still sometimes I'm ready to go. I don't need Blue Chew, though. You guys can now increase your performance, get that extra confidence in bed with BlueChew.com. That's like the color blue clowns. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You guys can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they are chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you guys can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. You guys can benefit from more confidence in bed. Why not give Blue Chew a go? It's fast, it's easy, and it's a great way to enhance your performance. Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you guys don't have to go to the doctor's office or wait in line at the pharmacy. And, best of all, it ships right to your front door in a very discreet package. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. And best of all, there's no more awkwardness. Right now, everybody listening live here on YouTube, right now I got a special offer for all of you listening to Off the Script. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our promo code JD at checkout. That's right, folks, free. All you have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Again, that's BlueChew.com, promo code JD to try it for free. It is absolutely the better, cheaper, and faster choice. Become the greater good of the bedroom. Don't be a failure like Rollins is. Be better than Rollins. Be better than the Messiah. Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. And I want to thank them for sponsoring the Monday Night Raw podcast right here on Off the Script. Blue Chew, man, it works. I know. I've had people tell me. I've had my brother tell me. I've had people tell me that I know. Yo, man, you got any more of that stuff? So go and get it today, please. And don't be like Seth Rollins. If you do not get Blue Chew, you will be like Seth Rollins now. And then if you go and get Blue Chew, you guys will be a part of the greater good, more so than Rollins could ever imagine. So that's that. Sasha and Bayley, they made their way to the ring. Sasha said that they are the hardest working superstars in all of WWE with all the gold. She said they deserve a break after being on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. I deserve a break from this show, honey. So I know how you feel. Sasha then said they deserve a break at SummerSlam. Bayley said that they actually are excited about SummerSlam because it's basically a night off. Okay, whatever you say, Bayley, whatever you say. She laughed at Asuka for being the Empress of Stupidity. Does that make Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard the king and court jester of stupidity? I wonder. Sasha Banks then said there's no chance Asuka can beat both of them in one night. She said, who gets to beat Asuka first? Bayley then said she should be first. They went back and forth. Bayley said she'll carry the heavy load to Sasha so she can easily tap her out and retain the Raw title without breaking a sweat. Sasha thanked her and said they'll celebrate the next night and celebrate again after defending their tag team titles at Payback. Who will be the losers? We are. We're all the losers for watching this show every Monday. Sasha listed several teams. They laughed when they suggested Asuka and Kairi Sane, who's retired because Sane isn't there anymore. Baszler walked out to her music and said she just has one thing to say. She said, whoever is the Raw Women's Champion after SummerSlam, I got next. It's about fucking time. You should already be the Raw Women's Champion, Miss Baszler. Vince McMahon fucked that up. Should have won the title at WrestleMania against Becky because Becky was going out to be pregnant. What happened? WWE gave a pregnant woman the title victory and she retained the title. WWE creative, folks. Asuka came out next. Asuka came out and did her maniac thing on the microphone. I didn't understand one word she said. She told Baszler she has to team with her tonight before she wrestles against her at SummerSlam. And then we were off to the running here with Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Asuka and Shayna Baszler. This was pretty damn good. Probably the best thing on the entire show, but being that it's Sasha and Bayley, I'm not surprised that that is the case. The one thing I want you guys to understand here is that if you don't enjoy Shayna Baszler, I think you guys really need to give her an opportunity. You guys need to look at how good she really is. You know, it was at the Survivor Series when everybody was so high on Shayna Baszler and she was in the main event of the Survivor Series against Bayley. And who was it against? It was against Bayley and who was the Raw Women's Champion at the time? Becky, right? It was Bayley, Becky, and Shayna Baszler at the Survivor Series. And the match was a disaster. Uncoordinated mess. Nobody gelled together properly. It was really shitty. Whoever produced that match did a terrible job. Everybody blamed it on Baszler. A lot of people blamed it on Baszler. Oh, Baszler's not good. Oh, Baszler looked out of place. She didn't look like she belonged. And then Vince McMahon, there were rumors about him being down on Baszler, and then she got brought back into the Royal Rumble. She got demoted to the main roster. She didn't win the Royal Rumble. Hot and cold there. She won the Elimination Chamber. She bit Becky's neck. She wrestled Kairi Sane, who was a heel in Brooklyn. Vince again down on Baszler because of the negative crowd reaction, not knowing that it was his fault because he put two fucking heels in the ring and in front of a New York crowd. You think they're fucking stupid? She went on to WrestleMania. She lost, and then she was even in Money in the Bank, and she didn't win that. She was supposed to win the Royal Rumble, lost. Supposed to win at WrestleMania, lost. Supposed to win the Money in the Bank, lost. So Baszler had all this time to just sit and contemplate what was going wrong. And I want you guys to think back to that Survivor Series match against a Bayley, against a Becky Lynch. She did great against Becky. And tonight, she did great in there with the two best female performers in the world in Sasha Banks and Bayley. She looked like she belonged. Now, she worked a babyface style, which I don't really care to see because Baszler needs to be a heel. I want heel Baszler. I'm not concerned about them turning Shayna Baszler into a babyface. The only reason why she gave off babyface tendencies and vibes was because she was teaming with a babyface in Asuka. And she was going up against two of the biggest heels in the women's division right now, Sasha and Bayley. But you got to start giving Shayna Baszler some credit. She looked great in there with Sasha and Bayley tonight. And you can't take anything away from her. So Asuka was being beaten down. She crawled over to make the hot tag. In comes Baszler. She worked her strikes against Sasha. Baszler set up an elbow stomp, but Banks broke free, rolled up Baszler for a quick roll-up and a 2 count. Bayley then tagged in. Baszler put her in a careful clutch. Sasha broke it up with a backstabber. Bayley then hit her Bayley to belly for a near fall. Bayley was frustrated. Sasha and Bayley then set up for a double team move on Baszler. Baszler broke free, threw Sasha out of the ring, dropped Bayley with a gut wrench and a knee to the head, followed by the Kirifuda clutch. Sasha barely made the save. Asuka came in, went right after Sasha, putting her in an Asuka lock at ringside. Baszler then re-put the Kirifuda clutch on Bayley, and she tapped out Bayley. She tapped out the SmackDown Women's Champion. Joe on commentary said Baszler put in a dominating performance that showed she is a force serious about becoming the Raw Women's Champion. So that is that. It's good to see Baszler in there. She is doing what she needs to do. Hasn't missed a beat. And even though she was with Asuka tonight showing some babyface tendencies, she was always about herself. So I'm hoping that they keep on that. Baszler is best by herself. She does not need to be a babyface. Keep Baszler the way she is. There's no reason to change something if it's not broken. So I enjoyed what I seen out of Baszler tonight. What this means by her tapping out Bayley, I don't think it really means anything. I don't think it means anything. It just means further split for Sasha and Bayley moving on into SummerSlam and beyond. Now, I don't know what they do. We're 1 week away from SummerSlam, 6 days from SummerSlam, and it looks like we are getting 2 individual one-on-one matches, which I don't really understand. I really don't. But that's what WWE is doing. I don't think it's necessary. Sasha versus Asuka, and then Bayley versus Asuka. I would do a triple threat match. I would unify the titles. I would put them all on the line in a triple threat match. Instead of doing it individually, you could just have Asuka go after both Sasha and Bayley in the same match and leave Sasha and Bayley to kind of go back and forth on what they want to do, creating inner turmoil there. Meanwhile, you put Asuka in the ring with both women who took out Kairi Sane and were responsible for retiring Kairi Sane via the WWE storyline that they had. So I think that makes sense. Or maybe you do a triple threat match, 2 out of 3 falls. First fall is for the Raw title. Second fall would be for the SmackDown title. And you do some weird shit there. That was the other thing that I was possibly thinking about. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know where they're going with this, but either way you look at it, it's going to create turmoil between Sasha and Bayley. Asuka's probably going to win the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley, I don't know what's going to happen there. She'll probably still retain the SmackDown Championship. It'll probably make Sasha jealous. Sasha, 1 belt. She won't be 2 belts Banks anymore. Maybe Sasha would get jealous that Bayley is still two belts. Bayley, 2 belts. Maybe that's the way that they create some inner turmoil there. They end up losing the tag team championships. Then we got no belts Banks. Then we got 1 belt Bayley. And then that leaves Sasha to go back over to SmackDown, feud with Bayley over the SmackDown Women's Championship, and then we're off to the running there. I don't know if WWE is going to be able to hold off until a WrestleMania for a Banks-Bayley match. We might have to get a match or 2 before then, and then we get the big match at WrestleMania. I don't know. I don't trust WWE creative to take us from now all the way to WrestleMania without seeing Banks and Bayley in the ring together. Again, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm glad I don't know what's going to happen because it's something that I've been very interested in, and I don't want it to be ruined. So we'll see what happens, and the less we know, the better. I just hope WWE plays it out, and we get the right outcome here, and where we want to go with Sasha and Bayley. That's all I care about. When Asuka wins the Raw Women's Championship, that leaves Shayna and Asuka on Monday Night Raw. That's also something I'm very excited about. But again, like I mentioned on Off the Script, it might not show, or it might not have shown on Friday SmackDown where, the women's division is going to flourish by having Sasha and Bayley hold all the belts. And Asuka now, it's always Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka. It seems like they're pushing the same three women on all shows on Monday and Friday. And then I've been constantly saying, well, JD, how do you say that? That didn't really age all that well on SmackDown. Well, now you see Shayna Baszler getting involved. So that's another reason to say, you know what? Sasha and Bayley are making the division better. They're getting Shayna into the mix now, and she's going to be over for it as well. But again, I'm going to reserve judgment. Got to see what the outcome is for SummerSlam, and I hope that they do right by it. That's all we can hope. Backstage, Ali and Ricochet with Cedric. They were chatting backstage. Cruz walked up to all three of them and thanked for their help earlier. He says he's sick of those guys. He revealed he chose Ali and Ricochet. Cedric, who had been rubbing his shoulder, was upset. Cruz says he didn't mean anything by it. He just thought he needed a break after Lashley had him in the full Nelson for so long. So Ricochet talked to Cedric, who seemed to accept that it was just fine. So the camera stayed in place, and Cedric Alexander was very upset about not being chosen by Apollo Crews, and in walks Randy Orton. I am not really understanding what Randy Orton had to do with this segment, but Cedric, it seems like Cedric is slowly starting to turn to the dark side. He may be contemplating a membership into the Hurt Business. So we don't really know yet. But I am not against a Cedric heel turn. I can't stand fucking bubbly, geeky, fucking playful Cedric Alexander. We need some attitude from Cedric. And if MVP's the right guy for that, I'm all for it. Michaels walked up to Drew McIntyre in the back. He said he understands how much Flair meant to him. He told Drew that Orton will use his frustration that he feels inside against him. Said he needs to refocus because he's traveled too rough of a road to give it up all now. Drew said he appreciates it. He says he's been reflecting on his journey. He reminisced on Michaels encouraging him in NXT when he first returned to the WWE and telling him he wouldn't be defined on his past. He said Randy has taken out Edge, Show, Flair on his watch, so he feels he let Michaels down. Michaels said he could never let him down. He said nothing can stop him. He said that there will be hills and mountains to climb. He said he can face all that adversity and come out on top. He said after he tore his tricep, he still drove 5 hours to study tape with him and train every single day. He said that's the Drew he knows. He says he set the WWE title free from Brock Lesnar holding it hostage. Some more truth in plain sight there. That's exactly what it was. He says he's earned the time and he's earned the spot at where he's at. He told him to show everybody who he is at SummerSlam. He then told Drew to promise him that he will give him his space when he faces Orton later. Drew thanked Shawn and then just kind of sat there and lingered behind, just taking in all that Shawn Michaels said to him in this segment. Backstage, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, they were chatting when the moronics came into frame, because that's exactly what we need on Monday Night Raw. The idiotics on Monday night. They walked in. They taunted the Riot Squad about whether they trust each other. Kay broke the news to Royce that her shoulder isn't feeling well, so she'll be replacing her in the scheduled match. Oh, wow. Well, listen, I would rather none of them. But if I'm going to choose one or the other, I'm shooting Peyton Royce over Billie Kay. No question. Royce said that she'd do anything for Billie Kay. Kay said that's what best friends do. Royce called Liv trash. Ruby said she'll drop them both where they stand if they call her that again. It's funny, you got trash calling Liv Morgan trash. Amazing. So then all of a sudden we see the camera kind of pan to the side and we see Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn Duke, and Marina Shafir. The MMA version of the Four Horsewomen right there on Monday Night Raw. So we go from that to Peyton Royce versus Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott back to being a loser on Monday Night Raw. Royce wins in 2 minutes with her twisting neck breaker, and that was it. So the way that this ended was Riott threw Royce into the ring from the outside. Kay walked over, started yelling at Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. So Royce knocked Riott into Liv. Liv went down. Royce threw Riott into the ring, finished her with her deja vu finishing maneuver. Phillips said that there is still a lot of work that needs to take place between Morgan and Riott. I don't understand. I don't really understand what happened here. Why would one of them be angry at the other? Why would Liv be angry at Ruby, and why would Ruby be angry at Liv? Do you know what they need to do here, folks? Again, it doesn't make any sense. All they would have to do is go on YouTube and watch the clip back about what happened here, and then they would both realize that neither one of them is to blame here. So why would they be angry with one another? Yet I'm the one that bitches and complains and moans and shits all over the product, but when you got illogical trash like the Iconics on the show in this storyline with Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, and I just gave you a brain buster like that, how could you sit there and say, well, JD's negative? If you've seen that ending, all you have to do is go on YouTube and watch the replay back and realize that, hey, it's not Liv Morgan's fault. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm no genius or anything. Shane McMahon walked up to his big, tall security guy. I don't even know his name. Outside the door to Raw Underground. Raw Underground was Eric from the Viking Raiders. He was battling some guy with blonde hair who I thought legitimately was fucking Dolph Ziggler. I really thought that this guy Eric was beating up was fucking Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, oh my goodness. What is going on here? Shane called him Kid. He didn't even have a name. It was stopped by the referee after about 10 seconds when Eric kneed him in the fucking face over and over again. Shane then did interview Dolph Ziggler on the outside for his thoughts on Eric's performance. Ziggler gave Eric a 4 out of 10. Shane then said, well, I think I'd give higher than a 4. So then Eric called Ziggler into the ring. Ziggler accepted. Shane then started yelling, this is going to be sick. Ziggler went for a single leg takedown. Eric then was bouncing around, punching Ziggler. Shane's face got red because he was so excited about this matchup that he showed camera shots of him. So Eric tossed him down on the mat. Ziggler came back with a sleeper. Eric tried to somersault out of it. Ziggler held on with the sleeper. Ziggler then gave Eric a thumb to the eye, and then he put Eric to sleep. And Dolph Ziggler beats Eric of the Viking Raiders on Raw Underground. Ivar charged into the ring and knocked Ziggler out of the ring onto Eric Bugenhagen and a bunch of NXT recruits standing at ringside. Shane then says, we'll be back with more Raw Underground. Folks, Dolph Ziggler's been a loser in WWE for 15 years. 15 years. He had maybe one decent run as world champion. Not even a decent run. He got fucking hurt. Multiple-time Intercontinental Champion. One of the best pure professional wrestlers in the company. A certified loser. A jobber to the stars on WWE television is Dolph Ziggler. This guy legitimately beat Eric of the Viking Raiders with a fucking sleeper hold. I don't give a shit if it was a thumb to the eye that caused it or not. Eric from the Viking Raiders lost to Dolph Ziggler in a scripted shoot fight on Monday Night Raw. I will never take Eric of the Viking Raiders seriously ever again. And this is the dangerous territory that WWE is treading with this Raw Underground. Now, you expect me to go in to a regular Monday Night Raw wrestling match with Eric in the ring, and you expect me to watch him and just hope that he does anything better than what he did here. If he can't win a real fucking fight, how's he going to win the fucking fight in the ring? I don't really understand that. Thumb to the eye or not, Raw Underground was trash. I still don't understand what this is doing for anybody. What are you doing here? Where is this going to be filmed when they move into the fucking ThunderDome? So stupid. Rey Mysterio was there. Rey and Dominic came out walking together to the ring. Dominic walked gingerly to the ring because he was selling the effects of Rollins' caning last week, holding his abdomen and his stomach along the way. When they entered the ring, Rey talked about the pain he felt after what he witnessed Seth do to his own flesh and blood and not being able to do anything about it. Said he needed to be there to protect him, to stop the beating. I needed to take the beating myself so I wouldn't have to watch you suffer. He said he may never fully recover, but there's no doctor on this planet that will stop him from protecting his son. He told Seth to listen to him because he's going to be in Dominic's corner and watch his son kick his ass in a street fight. Now, it was made official. It is a street fight at SummerSlam. And the reason why it's a street fight is because I don't think anybody's going to watch SummerSlam and a match against Dominic versus Seth Rollins and believe that Dominic Mysterio, who's never wrestled a match in WWE, period, is going to hang with Rollins in a traditional one-on-one match. The reason why they gave it a street fight stipulation is they can have a fuck finish. You know, Rollins can lose believably in a street fight. Dominic, it gives him the bells and whistles to work around the inexperience in a match with Rollins. It makes him look good. And I'm sure Rollins is going to treat him very well. Rollins will make him look good. So it's giving Dominic an easy out for not being prepared to be in the ring legitimately with somebody like Seth Rollins. That's the reason why they made it into a street fight. Dominic then thanked his dad for the words. He told him he knew what he was in for when he signed the contract to become a WWE superstar. He says he knows what he has to do to defend his family's honor, and he will be ready. Rey hugged him. Says he has no idea how proud of a father he is. Said he loves him so much and he admires his fight and determination and will to defend the family name. He said if Seth gets anywhere near them tonight, he will be the one who won't make it to SummerSlam. Seth showed up on the big screen with Murphy laughing. Seth said he cannot believe that both Mysterios had the audacity to show up tonight. He said he didn't take Rey for an idiot, yet he's standing inside my ring, putting his son in harm's way 6 days before their match at SummerSlam. He said Rey is doing it for himself and his own personal glory because he's so selfish, making it about him as always. He asked what kind of father he is. He said all you could have done to prevent this is stay away. He said he and his son got hurt and he still hasn't learned. He said it is the Mysterio legacy that will end up being the ultimate sacrifice to the greater good. Rey then got on the microphone and sounded very unconvincing, by the way. He told Seth that he is the Monday Night Messiah and a man with such a big word, or big words, so why not come to the ring and back them up? Ooh. Oh my God, I'm shivering me timbers there by Rey Mysterio's fucking intense promo there. So, Seth laughed and asked, what's wrong with you? You've got one eye and your kid can't even stand up straight. Just remember, you asked for this. Now, don't move an inch. Rey and Dominic waited a few seconds, and then Seth's music came out. They walked down the ramp. Rey and Dominic left the ring when the heels approached. Seth then asked Rey, well, what's going on? Why are you retreating? Oh, is your boy hurt? Rollins was joking. Rey walked around the ringside. Joe said discretion is the better part of valor here, which obviously came into play. Dominic grabbed two kendo sticks from the timekeeper's area from behind and whacked Murphy and Seth. This was the plan all along. They took turns bashing Seth from both sides, just like they did to Dominic last week, knocking Murphy to the floor. Revenge is sweet, yelled Samoa Joe. They tried to tie Seth in the ropes, but Murphy saved him, and both he and Rollins fled, and that was it. Not as good as last week, but it did a admirable job at getting that last push over the finish line going into SummerSlam. If you've seen last week, this one was no different. It was just a repeat of last week with Mysterio and Dominic trying to get some shots in, which they did on Rollins and Murphy, but they ended up escaping going into SummerSlam. So that was that. Really nothing out of the ordinary here. What we seen last week was pretty much this week and a continuation of what we seen with Dominic and Seth last week. Backstage, MVP approached Cedric. Cedric asked, what does he have to say now? MVP says he understands his frustration as he was once there. He said, at one point backstage as a young man, I was trying to navigate WWE. The only difference was it wasn't his friends trying to hold him back. Cedric said that's classic MVP trying to stir the pot. I don't think it's him trying to stir the pot at all. I think he's legitimately telling the truth. Cedric said Apollo was looking out for his best interests. MVP said maybe, or else Apollo saw him in a full Nelson and thought he was the weakest link of the team. Said it must be difficult being tag team champions with someone who calls himself the one and only, or tag team, not tag team champ, they wish. With someone who calls himself the one and only. He said his offer still stands and he should consider it while enjoying catering. Cedric was very frustrated and threw a water bottle in frustration. So, again, I don't mind Cedric going heel. And MVP, man, listen, he's doing God's work right now. Probably the only bright spot on this entire program. And if Cedric wants to join the Hurt Business, hey, man, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good look for him. They're probably the best thing on the show, minus the fucking 50-50 booking. But if Cedric wants to join, you got my thumbs up of approval. Apollo Crews, Rick O'Shea, and Mustafa Ali, who's been losing to Riddick Moss on main event, versus Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. This was fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible was this match. Because WWE just doesn't know what they have in Ali and Rick O'Shea. They win this match in about 11 minutes. Ali was eliminated in 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Shelton started off against Ali. Lashley tagged in, knocking Ricochet and Crews off the ring apron. He hits a Dominator on Ali and eliminates him in this elimination six-man tag. 90 seconds. Then we got Ricochet. Lashley gave Ricochet a high slam. Shelton tagged in and hit pay dirt for another pinfall. Literally 30 seconds after Ali got eliminated, Ricochet was eliminated. Ali and Ricochet were eliminated in the first minute and a half of this tag team match. Folks, if you're watching this show and you have no problem with this, you are a blithering fucking idiot. I cannot wait for Ali or Ricochet to be a free agent and they get the fuck out of this company. Absolutely. They could not wait to bury Ali. This is what happens when you go on the bump and you explain your story and what you want out of a return to the WWE. What was the first thing that they did to Ali after he appeared on the bump last week? 90 seconds. Done. Where's the story? What is the story? He's a loser? The fact that he can't hang? Whatever story they put him in, they've already buried him so far under that I don't really give a shit if he's going to make a triumphant babyface comeback. I don't. And Ricochet, not even the fucking God's grace can help Ricochet. Dead. Dead. An absolute fucking loser, which is a complete disgrace in every sense of the word. Why is he even there? Why is he even there? If there's a draft, I swear on fucking Christ's name, if there's a draft, Ricochet undoubtedly should be drafted back down to NXT and you call somebody, draft Ricochet back down to NXT, call up fucking Keith Lee or Adam Cole. Get him off the fucking show. Get him off the show. No reason for him to be on Monday Night Raw. None. None. There's no reason for him to be on WWE television. So this was a 1-on-3 match here. Apollo Crews was left against the entire Hurt Business. So MVP took control of Crews after the break, tagged out to Lashley, and it was MVP tagging back in, landing a running boot on Apollo Crews. Crews avoided a second running boot, hit his toss powerbomb on MVP, making it one-on-one. I believe he pinned Shelton Benjamin before this, or whatever. Cedric Alexander rolled up Shelton Benjamin to win the 24/7 title during the fucking commercial break. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. So we were left with Crews and Lashley, which really should have been the SummerSlam match for the United States Championship. Crews landed high kicks to Lashley, dropped Lashley on his back, landed a standing moonsault for a 2 count. Crews elbowed out of a full Nelson attempt. The full Lashley sounds so fucking cringe. Lashley came back with a spear for the win. The Hurt Business beats Apollo Crews and friends in 11 minutes. Guys losing right before SummerSlam. Why would anybody give a shit if he loses or wins to MVP? I don't really understand it. The 50-50 booking in this entire fucking program is ridiculous. How is anybody getting over? How is this making anybody look good? Apollo wins, he loses. He wins, he loses. It is so inconsistent for a United States champion, a champion. Benjamin beats Apollo Crews, loses the next week. Ali comes back and gets 1 win in his return to Monday Night Raw, loses the next 4 weeks. I mean, are they out to just bury everybody? Then they want to know why nobody's watching. Because nobody feels important. Then they want to know why nobody's watching. Because nobody gives a shit when everybody's up 1 week and down the next 4 weeks. Why isn't anybody watching? Right there. Cedric Alexander pinned Akira Tozawa with the Ninjas in a match for the 24/7 title. He pinned Shelton Benjamin for the fucking 24/7 title and then defends the title against Akira Tozawa. Who asked for this? Then they want to know why nobody's watching. Ninjas, Retribution, logic gaps, 50-50 booking, Nia Jax. Cedric wins in 1 minute. Cedric fended off a ninja distraction. Tozawa went to the top rope. Cedric moved, hit a lumbar check, retains the title. That's what they think of Cedric Alexander on Monday Night Raw, folks. That's what they think of Cedric on Monday Night Raw. 24/7 championship is the best Cedric has seen on Monday Night Raw. Fucking ridiculous. Moving on. They showed Ziggler winning over Eric on Raw Underground with a thumb to the eye. I will never take Eric serious again. Marina Shafir was on Raw Underground now with Shayna and Jessamine Duke. Marina attacked her opponent, beat her up for a minute. I don't even know who the fuck was in the ring with her, but she was legitimately trying to throw Stephanie McMahon slaps. This woman was throwing Alexa Bliss-like slaps at Marina Shafir. There was a report last week that WWE told every woman who was in the ring with Shayna Baszler to pretend like you know nothing. I guess that's exactly what they had this woman do, who didn't have a name. So Marina Shafir attacked her opponent, beat her up for a minute, tapped her out using a key lock on the knee. Nia Jax, legitimately came out of nowhere and attacked Shafir after the match, knocked her to the floor. She was diagnosed to be out for 9 months because of Nia Jax's distraction. So Baszler entered the ring, challenged Nia Jax to a Raw Underground match. The bell rang. Nia Jax jumped out of the ring. I could have made a joke there, but I'll refrain. She jumped out of the ring and ran through the curtain. Shane said the only rule is that you have to fight. So then the people around ringside started chanting, "She's scared! She's scared!" Nia Jax is scared of what? Of what? I could have inserted another joke there, but I'll refrain. I'll be good tonight. I'm not like the old JD. Oh, kinda. but I'm a little bit more tame. Shane told everyone to tune in 10 o'clock next week for more Raw Underground. No, thank you. No, thank you. Get rid of it. Andrade versus Montez Ford. Folks, I ranted on the situation earlier. Angelo Dawkins, he knew who poisoned Montez Ford, yet he's all smiley and he's flirting with a blonde from The Bachelorette. He doesn't get angry until Vega, Andrade, and Garza are there in front of him. But he's smiling, knowing that his best friend, his tag team partner, is poisoned. Montez Ford is there on Monday Night Raw. So what does Montez Ford do, knowing he was poisoned by Zelina Vega and Garza and Andrade, who he has a match with right now on Raw? Montez Ford, knowing he was poisoned, danced to the ring as if nothing happened. As if he was never poisoned at all. Now that we know who did it, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's all right. I'll give you a pass on who poisoned me. Ford wins in 3 minutes. We got tag team wrestlers wrestling singles matches. That's the best that WWE could do on their Monday Night Raw tag team division. So Andrade and Ford, towards the end of this thing, we got a superplex here. Andrade knocked Ford off balance. He landed a superplex off the top rope for a 2 count. Back in the ring, Ford was keeping up a very high pace here. Landed a shooting star press, standing, for a 2 count. He head scissored Andrade. He shook the top rope like the Ultimate Warrior. Zelina stood on the ring apron. Andrade then automatically, just out of nowhere, popped up, knocked Ford off the top rope as he was going for his big frog splash. Out of nowhere comes Bianca Belair. Bianca caught Vega as she leapt off the ring apron and power slammed her to the ring. Started talking trash to Zelina Vega. And then Ford rolled up a distracted Andrade for the 3 count. So Bianca Belair was there. But where was she earlier when Angelo Dawkins got the footage of Montez Ford being poisoned? You would think if Bianca was so upset that her husband was poisoned and they found out who legitimately did it, that she would have been there with Angelo Dawkins to beat up Zelina Vega 2.5 hours ago. Now she comes out. I mean, am I losing my mind? How does anybody accept this garbage? What a dumb fucking storyline. Angelo Dawkins smiling. Montez Ford comes out dancing. Zelina Vega, I did it. Bianca Belair, nowhere to be found. She comes out at the end of the show to power slam her. And that's all she did. A power slam. A power slam to Zelina Vega. Bitch, if you're poisoning my husband, you are getting much worse than a fucking power slam. Bruce Pritchard's creative writing, folks. That's the extent of it. Michaels made his ring entrance with 6 minutes left on the Monday Night Raw clock. Thank Christ. He was in the ring wearing his signature NXT hat. Said he wished he was there for a more exciting role. He pointed to a snippet on the big screen, which this was the 4th time we've seen the Flair and Orton segment from last week, played in full, by the way. Michael says he watched what happened with a tear rolling down his face. Flair remained in the situation last week. Lights went out, as you guys know. Just keep that in mind. That's the reason why I say that. The lights went out when Randy Orton punted Ric Flair. So, he reminded everybody, did Michaels, of his time when Flair was on his deathbed, wanting to tell people who mean the most to him how much he loved them. He said Flair loved performing for the WWE Universe. He said without Flair, there would be no Shawn Michaels, there'd be no Triple H, Batista, Edge, Christian, Big Show, or Drew McIntyre. All of the names that Randy Orton has taken out, obviously. So the one guy also on the list is Randy Orton. says he doesn't have the name or gratitude and appreciation that Flair does, even though Flair mentored him for years. He called Flair the greatest wrestler ever. And he said he doesn't know how it will happen, but he assured him that at SummerSlam, he expects he will meet his justice at the end of a sweet chin music or a Claymore kick. He assured him that at SummerSlam, he will be getting what he has coming. So his music played, Shawn Michaels' music played. Orton came from behind Michaels and gave him an RKO, and then immediately gave him a punt kick. No lights went out here. He delivered a punt kick right to Shawn Michaels' face. No lights went out. No retribution. No shenanigans or fucking doctored footage here. Clear on punt kick. They didn't black out the punt kick on Shawn Michaels, but they blacked it out on Ric Flair. They didn't block out the punt kick on Christian. They blocked it out on Ric Flair. They didn't block it out on Big Show. They blocked it out on Ric Flair. You'll never see it coming, folks. The lights go out conveniently when he punts Ric Flair in the head. Ric Flair could absolutely be playing everybody as he sets Randy Orton to win his 15th World Championship. I think it's 15. No matter what, win the World Championship at SummerSlam. You'll never see it coming. Perfect tagline for that situation. So, Drew McIntyre came out. Orton quickly fled. Drew called for some help as Michaels tried to regain his senses. Orton entered, went after Drew. Drew saw him coming, clotheslined him over the top rope, threw him into the ring post and then the plexiglass. He finally tossed him over the announce desk. Returned to the ring to check on Michaels, who was at this point no-selling the punt kick because he was fucking up and conscious. Drew called for medics as Shawn looked out of it. He was regaining consciousness though, but Orton again entered and this time caught Drew with an RKO. McIntyre never saw it coming, was the last thing that Tom Phillips said. That was it. And Monday Night Raw went off the air. It is what it is, folks. This was a cheap attempt at a last-minute ditch, last-minute sell for SummerSlam. It is what it is. Monday Night Raw was terrible tonight. It was a very piss-poor, lazy, put-together, produced, go-home effort that, like I said, had more logic holes in it than a fucking brick of Swiss cheese. Absolutely ridiculous. Logic gaps everywhere. Nothing made sense. You'd never know there was a fucking pay-per-view at the end of the fucking weekend. Lamest party of the summer. Summer scam. It's exactly what I say it is every single fucking year, man. SummerSlam is getting less and less important every single year. Even TakeOver doesn't even feel like a takeover. Unreal. And you think WWE moving into the fucking Amway Center, the ThunderDome, is going to make a lick of a difference? Folks, if the shows get better, I will be the first to tell you. But what you're seeing here is exactly what you're going to get in the Amway Center. It's not going to make a lick of a difference what building they're in. Give me a break. Pyro and drones and entrances and this and that and fucking virtual fans. It's not going to make a difference. Bad creative is bad creative. A bad show is a bad show. No matter where they are. It doesn't matter. Let's hit these super chats. Let's throw some fucking music up here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We got some good viewership tonight, man. 1,500 people in here. Happy that you guys chose me out of everybody in the community, as always. Daniel Easter Day. $2 super chat. I love your 24/7 title ranch, JD. They're hysterical. Thank you, brother. Popo Jr. $2 super chat. What's up, my brother? And the community. Hashtag MJF 2020. Can't wait for All Out. Gonna be a great show. Gregory Benson, $4.99 super chat. What's up, everybody? Feeling creatively bankrupt as well. Raw sucks tonight. What else is new? This was a god-awful go-home show. Absolutely fucking terrible. Absolutely nothing redeeming about this show. Jacob Donnelly, $5 super chat. What's up, brother? I don't know what would possess Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, and Ricochet to sign new contracts. Money. Ricochet's been a lifelong WWE fan. He's a lifer. It's been his dream to be in WWE. That's why he's there. Ali couldn't give a shit. They don't know what they have in Ali, man. It's ridiculous. When Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship, Ali would make for a great first opponent. Just based off the story that Ali and Orton had last year. Orton took him out of the chamber. They could play up the fact that Randy Orton took a WWE Championship opportunity away from Ali and he never got what was coming to him. They got a story written right there. They don't even have to do anything. Does WWE go and do that? With the way he's been positioned on this show? He'd be lucky to even have WWE title in his vocabulary. Gregory Benson with another $4.99. I'll take Amy Schumer, learns to cook. Oh my goodness. Over on the Food Network any night of the week. Over the insufferable garbage that is Monday Night Raw. Bro. Amy Schumer learns to cook? Really? I don't know how anybody could put themselves through that torture, bro, really. Prodigy RKO, $5 super chat. The disrespect shown to Cedric Alexander this evening, JD, is an abomination to WWE at its finest. The ThunderDome can blow me. Frustrated viewer. Man, never mind Cedric. Ali. The disrespect to Ali, bro. My goodness. Ricochet is just dead. But Ali came back, 5 weeks ago? Buried already. I don't like throwing that word around, but he's buried. Mike W. with a $5 super chat. Thanks for stopping by, bro. JP5150, $10 super chat. JD, as always, Monday Night Garbage delivers awful television. On the plus side, a beverage is coming on delivery that defines you. Three's Brewing, the source of truth. It is an oak-aged Saison. Toyogo Orchards. I don't know what that means, bro, but oak-aged? You got me sold. My beer-drinking buddy here, JP5150. Thanks for stopping by, man. The source of truth. I like that. Mike W. Another $5 super chat. He says, how's your buddy Pete doing? I remember months ago he was in the hospital. He is excellent. Happy to report he is doing very well. Went to Boston with the family this weekend. Oh, this past week. Had a good time with the kids. So good to know he's doing well. Jacob Donnelly with another $5 super chat. This show would have been just as bad with WWE ThunderDome. Creative needs to come first. I don't give a shit if this show takes place in your grandmother's fucking bathroom. Doesn't matter. She's gonna be on the toilet sitting down taking a fucking dump after dinner. Doesn't matter. Creative is key. That's what they don't have. I don't need a fucking ThunderDome for good television. Little Willie with a $2.99 super chat. Yo, G, the Shawn Michaels no sold the punt kick. LOL. I know. He no sold that shit like a motherfucker, bro. But it's Shawn Michaels. How pissed can you be at him? Dom Tinney, $5 super chat. Do you think the leader of Retribution will be revealed at Summerslam? Keep up the good work. Like usual, goon. No. If anything, it's Retribution at Payback. That's what I'm thinking. Robert Heller, $5 super chat. Summerslam is in full effect. Absolutely. Felix Colon with a $2 super chat. Was going to watch Raw, but I got high. Yeah, so did Retribution, apparently. They went after their fucking weed money and bailed. Then they went to go smoke up with Shane McMahon. That's where all the smoke came from. Sean Planet Stasiak. WWE or AEW should sign Chris Masters or Ken Anderson. Both really talented. What do you think? No and no. Chris Masters and Ken Anderson, really? Yeah, that's exactly what AEW needs. Thanks for the $4.99, brother. World of Wrestling, $5 super chat. Vince should sell WWE to someone that cares about wrestling because clearly he does not. His company's more dead than WCW from 2000. Vince ain't going anywhere, bro. He's gonna live till he's 190 years old. What do we got in the chat here, man? Technical AG. Fuck out of here with your spam, bro. Jericho 131. $5 super chat. 8131. I switched to 2.5 Men reruns by 9. I'd rather pour cement in my eyes than watch another Monday Night Raw. You watching Raw is truly the greater good. Thank you, my friend. I was never a show of 2.5 Men. Never a fan of the show. Sydney Pert, $4.99. The days of WWE pay-per-views and the go-home shows being must-watch TV is gone. The NBA playoffs are way more important. Thanks for taking the bullet for us. Enjoy your NBA playoffs, bro. I'll be here. I'll keep you guys updated all week long. The Nerdy Sports Guy with a $3.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. David Works with $2 super chats. Do you think Dominic should go to NXT after SummerSlam? No. And he says, bro, you have to check Ali's 2 latest tweets right now. Really? Let me check. Ali. Let's see what Ali says. Take my dream, take my passion, you won't take my truth. You are my last hope. Brother, you have no hope in WWE. You are way too good to be mistreated by these fucking cretins, man. Seriously. Justin Striplin with a $19.99 super chat. These shows would be much better once Vince, Bruce, and Dunn are all gone. Every show keeps getting worse, with those 3 ruining the show with lazy booking and making their wrestlers look like idiots in storylines. Bro, it's gonna be like this until I am old and gray, which I'm already gray thanks to this shit. Just in the beard, though. But I like it. Thank you so much, man. Willie Frederick, $2 super chat. I think Ric Flair is going to help Randy Orton. I think so, too. Talked about it at the end of the show. Blue Eyes White Dragon. $1.99 super chat. Sean's View Ent is a clown. Fuck him. Guy's a fucking failure. Robert Heller, $5 super chat. Bald Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels may be bald, but I think he's the greatest of all time, brother. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Thank you for the live stream. Off the Script Extra tomorrow. Look out for it. It's fire. Absolutely. Rant on ThunderDome. Rant on Sonya Deville Stalker, that fucking creep. That social degenerate. And a rant on Rusev. It's a rant-filled OTS Extra. What's there not to like? Just gotta get Salrex to do the thumbnail for me. Master his own fucking craft, Salrex. Follow me on social media, man, at JDfromNY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below if you have not done so already. We are the #1 podcast every single fucking week in the IWC. Everybody else, fuck them. Fuck them. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. If you missed any of the content over the weekend, links are down below. Get your masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS for your black masks. Make sure you guys get your JD's Negan t-shirts. Bonfire.com. We'd love to sell 100, man. We're on our way there. Go and get them. Go and get them. And Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. We got one more super chat here, man. Chris Drum Magic. $4.99. There's no way they put on shoes like this and is really surprised that they're low on views. Bro, creative is trash. It's disgusting. I could do a better job sitting here than all of them combined. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Enjoy the night. I'll see you guys on OTS Extra tomorrow. Hit that thumbs up. What do we got going on here? 1,000 likes now. Please. I said please. It helps out the video, man. See you guys later.